Sure.
We are back live here on our world famous Jiggy Jaguar radio broadcast, KJAGradio.com. We have got a great guest with us today. Go ahead and give us a brief introduction on yourself, my friend. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Vincent Joseph with the band Model Stranger. We are just getting ready to release a new album, and I play drums and do some singing in the band.
Fantastic, fantastic. So tell us a little about the band and how you guys got together as a group.
Sure. So we actually started, we're in December, it will be 11 years since we started. And we actually have been touring throughout the States for quite a while. Decided to take some time off the road, and so we've been working on a new album for about 2 years, and we whittled 50 songs down to about 13 and finally settled on 9. The new album Phases is going to be releasing this upcoming Friday the 13th, and we're going to be doing a live stream for that on Thursday the 12th via Twitch.
Fantastic. So this new album, tell me a little bit about this.
Sure. So as I said, we've been together for quite a while, but we've gone through different sonic phases ourselves, but we're pretty much born and bred on music from the 60s to the 90s. We're kind of like an analog band living in a digital world. We usually record to tape, and we tend to take the hard way through things and make things harder on ourselves. But what we ended up doing is really focusing on the rhythm section for this album, getting together some good beats, good grooves, and then peppered in on top of it. So it's mostly just a three-piece band on the album with some synthesizers that we weaved in and out of there. It's kind of like psychedelic grunge, but it's definitely more leaning on the pop side of things. And we, in a very selfish manner, wanted to create an album, because now everyone seems to be very single driven and the album's kind of gone out the window. But being that we're classicists to a certain extent and we're all vinyl junkies, we just got selfish and we wanted to create an album. So we really worked on the sequencing for this album a lot, and created something that you can hopefully experience on that platform, because it's definitely, we call it an M and an S side, or an A and a B side, and it takes you through a little journey on that side. We have some pop bangers, some rock and roll in your face, big guitar riffs, and then some kind of far out, more little Pink Floyd-esque songs on there. But all through it carries us through different phases of music, different times in our life. We had a lot going on while we were recording this album, and it ends with a pretty positive message. So we're pretty proud of it.
We've got a tremendous group with us today here in our broadcast. Chicago-based rockers Model Stranger. They have a tremendous new single, and they have got a great album coming out here very soon. And so tell us a little bit about the production process and everything that you went through to put this album together, my friend.
Sure. So, like I said, we kind of were wearing ourselves out on the road. We were doing this the hard way, where we would just tour, shake hands, make fans that way. And we were starting to burn ourselves out, and it was getting harder and harder to write. So we decided we wanted to take a little bit of time off from the road and just focus on crafting new songs. So when we did that, we whittled everything that came together. It was about 50-something songs. We got that down to about 13. We took those 13 songs, went to our friends, went to a handful of different producers, and tried to get an outside perspective, because we were starting to grow a little too close to everything. When we got that group of 13 more situated, we finished all the pre-production with Noam Wallenberg at Rax Tracks. All the drums and the bass were recorded live at Rax Tracks, and then we did something that we've never done before, which is we have our own studio in Chicago as well, And so we recorded all of the guitars directly in, and then did all the reamping at Rax Tracks. So it's a real clean, crisp sounding album, which we're usually used to something a little more grittier, but it was kind of fun. You could hear all the little perfections and where you need to tighten up a little bit. We've always prided ourselves on our live show, so actually digging in the studio, from start to finish, the whole process was about 2 years. And then, given the pandemic and all, this was originally supposed to release in April, so obviously everything got pushed back. We were kind of going back and forth on what to do, so we finally just decided to release it this year nonetheless, and we're trying to pivot towards some more streaming. So there's a learning curve there, but hopefully the live show can translate a little bit through that as well.
Model Stranger with us today. They join us live here in our broadcast. You can get more information at modelstranger.com. They join us today here on KJAGradio.com. Model Stranger. Where did the name of the band come from?
So, the singer and the guitar player and bass player, Stephen and Kevin, they were in bands growing up together. They'd probably been playing together for about 20 years. And then in 2009, the three of us linked up. We actually met. We didn't even realize we were both all from Chicago, but we met down in Austin, Texas. And we kind of developed a relationship there, and then started Model Stranger. And there's a few aspects to it. One, this was right when the digital forefront started happening with music and pivoting towards that. So we wanted something that had really great SEO. So if you search Model Stranger, we're the only thing that pops up. And then
awesome. That's fantastic.
Yeah. And on top of that, we really like the dichotomy of the words and how they can play together. Is it a noun? Is it an adjective? Is it a verb? To Model Stranger, a Model Stranger. And we really started playing off that with our music as well. We released a couple EPs. The Changing Score was one of them, and that was more of a model side. It was a little more polished and clean. The EP we released after that is very, very psychedelic and much more on the Stranger side. So we've really tried to play with each side of that name, work the positives of it, at least in that sense.
We've got Model Stranger with us today. They join us live here on KJAGradio.com. If you want to get more information on Model Stranger, you can find them online, modelstranger.com. And, of course, they are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, social media as well. So tell me about your social media following.
Sure. So something that we've really been trying to focus on recently is our Spotify. So feel free to go on there and give us a follow. You can pre-save our album Phases, which is coming out on the 13th. Just click the link in our bio, or as well on Instagram or our website, modelstranger.com. Our Facebook following has been really helpful, and obviously everything now is pushing a little bit more towards Instagram. Instagram's probably the best place to get live updates. Follow us on there to see what we got going on in our story. We give you a little look into everything, as well as we have released, or I should say we were released into the wild, a few vinyl copies of Phases. And inside there's a golden ticket for a little extra surprise. And if you follow us on Instagram, you'll be able to see where we've been dropping some of these. A couple people already found them around Chicago, and there will be in some other cities as well. But Spotify, Instagram, and modelstranger.com is the best place to find out what we have going on.
Fantastic. We have got Model Stranger with us today. They join us live. Modelstranger.com is the official website. So how do we get this album? How do we buy the album? Everything, my man.
Of course. Yeah, if you just go to modelstranger.com or click on any of the links in our bio, it'll shoot you to our merch page. You can pre-order Phases, either the digital version or vinyl. We skipped out on CDs. This time we wanted to go back to the roots here, so it's just available on vinyl or as a digital download. You can also stream it through Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, any of those. And on top of that, we have some branded merch specifically for the album. We have some Phases t-shirts, Phases hats, and a whole slew of other merchandise. And if you want to keep going down that rabbit hole, we have other vinyls and CDs and digital downloads available at modelstranger.com.
Fantastic. It's Model Stranger, and we appreciate you making time for us today. Thanks for coming on, man.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Real appreciate the time. Check out modelstranger.com. Have yourself a wonderful rest of your Sunday, man.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you, brother. There he goes. Model Stranger, and we are going to go now to Model Stranger. It's Pick Me, and it's here on our big broadcast. That's Model Stranger. Check them out online. And that wraps it up here from KJAG.